Imagine this for a moment. What if everything you've ever dreamed of, everything you have prayed for, everything your heart has silently longed for was already yours? What if life wasn't about waiting for things to happen, but about accepting that they already have? What if the key to your miracle isn't effort, but assumption, living right now as though what you desire is already done? The greatest secret of life isn't hidden in the stars or buried in books. It's within you. The moment you believe, not hope, not wish, but truly believe that what you desire already belongs to you, you shift the entire universe in your favor. This isn't imagination gone wild. This is divine law. You were created in the image of the Creator Himself, meaning you hold within you the same creative power, and that power is faith, faith that sees the invisible and lives from it as though it were visible. When you begin to act as if this time is already yours, something magical happens. The outer world, which once seemed distant and unmoving, begins to respond to your inner conviction. You no longer chase, beg, or worry. You become, and when you become, the world bends itself to mirror that state of being. Faith isn't passive. Faith is the bold acceptance that it is done. Even before your senses confirm it, faith walks, talks, and lives from the end. It doesn't wait to see, it sees first. Remember the sacred words. When you pray, believe that you've received it, and it will be yours. Notice it doesn't say believe after you receive. It says believe that you have received. That's the difference between hoping and knowing, between struggling and resting in the truth of your being. Think about a time you ordered something online. You paid for it, got your confirmation, and then you relaxed. You didn't worry about how it would arrive or whether it would come. You simply knew it's on the way. That's exactly how creation works. Once you've accepted something, as done in your imagination, you've already received the confirmation. The rest is just delivery time. So many live as if they're waiting for life to approve them, to give them permission to be happy,
to be successful.
But the truth is, life is simply echoing what you already believe about yourself. You see, your world is a mirror. It has no choice but to reflect the image you hold within. The moment you say, I am, you set the tone of your reality. When you say, I am abundant, life must bring abundance. When you say, I am loved, love must find you. But when you say, I hope one day I'll be, you've placed your desire in the future, and the future never comes. Because creation is now. Now is the only time that exists, and now is the only time where power lives. So act as if this time, right now, is already yours. Don't say, someday I will be successful. Say, I am successful now. Feel the joy of already being where you want to be. Feel the calm assurance that the work is done. Because when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are no longer asking. You are thanking. And gratitude is the language of completion. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself living your dream, whether it's the home, the relationship, the health, or the peace, you are not pretending. You are entering the creative act of faith. Imagination is not fantasy. It's the rule of creation. Every invention, every miracle, every answered prayer began in the unseen world of imagination. You are not waiting for proof. You are giving life to proof through your assumption. Maybe you say, I don't see it yet. My friend, the seed doesn't show fruit the moment it's planted. It grows in silence beneath the soil nurtured by faith, and in due season, what you planted must rise. The invisible roots of your belief are already moving, forming, aligning circumstances to bring your assumption into visibility. There's a beautiful verse that says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Notice the word substance. Faith gives form to the unseen. Your belief is the invisible fold into which the unseen substance of creation pours itself. When you hold firmly to the end you desire, refusing to be swayed by appearances, that unseen substance takes shape. So how do you act as if this time is already yours? You begin within, you close your eyes, and you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You don't wait for it to happen. You feel it has happened. You walk the posture, speak with the tone, and think from the state of already having it. You shift your entire inner conversation from, I hope it happens, to, it's already mine. Let's say you desire financial abundance. You don't repeat, I will one day be rich. You say, I am abundant now. And then you let that truth color your mood, your choices, your actions. You give generously because you are supplied. You stop worrying because you trust in the invisible source that sustains you. You act not as a beggar of blessings, but as the beloved child of a limitless creator. Or imagine you desire love. Don't wait for someone to appear to make you feel loved. Be love now. Feel what it's like to be cherished, to be adored, to be deeply connected. Walk with that warmth in your heart. Smile at yourself as though love is already yours, because it is. That vibration draws to you the one who matches it. The outer must reflect the inner. It cannot resist the command of faith. When doubts arise, and they will, don't fight them. Simply return to your inner knowing it is done. Remember, the storm doesn't mean promises failed. It simply tests your faith. The stronger the resistance, the closer the manifestation. Stand firm in your assumption. Don't let appearances persuade you otherwise. Your senses are slow. They take time to catch up to the invisible truth. Every moment you live as if you are building a new reality. You are reprogramming your subconscious mind to accept what was once impossible as inevitable. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between fact and assumption. It accepts what you impress upon it as truth. That's why the feeling is so powerful. You can repeat words endlessly, but without feeling, they remain hollow. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Let it soak into you. Let it live through you. You might wonder, but isn't that pretending? No, pretending is hoping something might happen someday. Faith is knowing it already has. Pretending is rooted in fear. Faith is rooted in love. When you act as if you are not escaping reality, you are aligning with a higher reality that already exists in spirit, waiting for your belief to make it visible. Every great transformation begins in the unseen. Think of the butterfly. It doesn't become beautiful in the sunlight, but within the darkness of the cocoon. Your imagination is that cocoon. It's where you go to transform from what was to what is. There's a quiet confidence in those who live as if. They don't chase, they attract, they don't beg. They believe, they move through life as though the outcome is guaranteed, because deep down they know it is. Life must respond to faith. It has no choice. If you could truly see how powerful your imagination is, you would never again doubt yourself. The invisible world is far more real than what your eyes can see. Every dream that has ever come true was first unseen. You're not waiting for proof. You are the proof. The fact that you can desire something means it already exists for you. Desire is not a sign of lack. It's a divine signal, showing you what's already prepared for you in the unseen. When you act as if this time is already yours, you live from the state of completion. You stop asking, when will it come? And then instead you say, thank you, it is done. Gratitude shifts your frequency from wanting to receiving. Gratitude declares, I already have. And when you already have, life must show you more of it. So right now, wherever you are, take a deep breath and claim your desire as fulfilled. Whisper it quietly if you must. It's already mine. Feel that calm confidence settle in your heart. Don't rush. Don't question. Just rest in that knowing. You don't need to make anything happen. You simply need to become the version of yourself for whom it has already happened. The unseen world is responding to your faith at this very moment. Things are moving, aligning, and unfolding in your favor. Don't look at what's missing. Look at what's done. Don't act from need. Act from fulfillment. The state you occupy determines the world you experience. So walk with peace. Speak with confidence. Live with joy. You are not waiting for your blessing. You are living in it. You are not striving for your dream. You are expressing it. The universe is simply catching up to the truth you have already accepted within yourself. And when that moment comes, when your outer world finally mirrors the inner reality you've been living, you'll smile, not in surprise, but in gratitude. Because you'll realize it was yours all along. You didn't wait for it to happen. You became it. You acted as if this time was already yours. And so you begin to notice subtle changes around you. People start responding differently. Opportunities that once seemed far away begin to appear naturally, almost effortlessly. Conversations align, circumstances shift, and the right doors open as though guided by an unseen hand. This is not coincidence. This is the law of assumption unfolding through faith. The moment you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, everything external rearranges itself to reflect that new inner truth. And yet, this way of being isn't about forcing the world to change. It's about resting in the knowing that it already has you no longer strain or push. You live in quiet confidence, knowing the unseen is more powerful than the seen. You no longer ask, how will it happen? Because that question no longer matters. The how belongs to the infinite. Your only task is to accept that it's already done. This is why imagination is sacred. It's the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Every time you imagine with feeling, you are moving closer to the fulfillment of your desire. You're creating an inner atmosphere so real that the outer world must reflect it. That's why those who understand this truth live with a sense of calm assurance. They know that creation is finished. They simply align themselves with what's already theirs. When you first practice living from the end, it might feel unnatural. Your senses will argue against it. The world may show you evidence of lack. But remember, what you see now is only the shadow of your old thoughts. The world lags behind your imagination. It shows you yesterday's beliefs. Keep your gaze fixed inward, not outward. Live as though your dream has already come to pass. And soon your outer world will have no choice but to catch up. The key is persistence, not in effort, but in faith. Persist in the assumption that you already have what you desire. When doubts whisper it's not happening, you gently return to your truth. It is done. You don't fight fear, you replace it with faith. You don't resist lack, you replace it with fullness. You walk by faith, not by sight. Think of a child who's asked a loving parent for a gift. Once the parent smiles and says, "It's yours," the child doesn't worry about when it will arrive. The child plays, laughs, and lives in joy, because in their heart it's already theirs. That's how the divine wants you to live. You are not meant to struggle, to beg, to chase your desires. You are meant to rest in the certainty of love's promise, that all you can imagine in faith is already given. When you wake up in the morning, begin your day by assuming the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Don't look for evidence, be the evidence. Feel the emotion you would feel if it were already so. If it's peace you desire, feel peaceful now. If it's abundance, feel secure and provided for now. If it's love, feel cherished and complete now. When you dwell in those feelings, you are no longer waiting. You are living the reality of faith, and that state of being radiates outward. You'll find that the world begins to mirror your inner transformation. People will call it luck, timing, or fate, but you will know the truth. You will know that it was faith made visible, because creation is complete. Every possibility already exists. You are not creating something new. You are simply aligning yourself with the version of reality where your desire is already fulfilled. There are infinite versions of you, living infinite lives in infinite outcomes. And the state you occupy determines which version you experience. That's why acting as if isn't pretending, it's choosing. You are choosing to occupy the version of yourself that already has the thing you desire. You're not hoping to get there. You're living from there. This shift is subtle but life-changing. It's not about doing more, it's about being differently. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Soon, it won't feel like acting anymore. It will feel like remembering, because you'll realize you were never without it. You simply forgot who you were. You forgot that the power to create rests not in effort, but in awareness. You forgot that your imagination is not just daydreaming, it's creation itself. Everything begins within you. The outside world is only a reflection, a projection of your inner state. So if you wish to see something new, don't try to fix the reflection. Change the image within. That is the only true work there is. Feel it real. Live it now. Speak from the end. Walk with the quiet certainty that the unseen is already yours. And as you do, your world will gently, beautifully, and faithfully transform before your eyes, revealing what was always waiting for you the moment you dared to believe. You start realizing that this journey is not about trying to convince the outer world, it's about convincing yourself. The world only mirrors what you've accepted as true within. When you truly accept that your desire is already fulfilled, your vibration changes. You no longer move from desperation or need. You move from calm assurance, from quiet power, from love. And that change in vibration draws to you everything that matches it. This is why some people seem to attract success, love, or peace effortlessly. It's not luck, it's alignment. They have learned to live from the end. They have trained their imagination to dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, even when there's no physical evidence. And because the inner world governs the outer, the unseen always becomes seen. You can do the same. You can decide right now to stop waiting and start being. If you can imagine yourself already living your dream life, then you can begin to feel it right now. Feel the emotions of that fulfilled version of you. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the relief, the gratitude. The mind may whisper, but nothing has changed, and that's when faith speaks louder. Everything has changed because faith doesn't wait for confirmation. Faith creates confirmation. The outer must rearrange to match the inner conviction. It's law, and you don't need to know when or how. It's not your job to control the details. Your job is to remain faithful to your inner reality. When you walk down the street, carry yourself as the person who already has it all. Let that confidence, that serenity, that quiet joy radiate from you. It's not arrogance, it's spiritual certainty. It's the recognition that the same power that created the universe lives within you, working through you. You are never alone in this process, and sometimes life will test your assumption. There may be moments when everything seems to move in the opposite direction, when appearances tempt you to doubt, but that's when you must remain still and remember. This too is part of the unfolding. The test is not punishment, it's purification. It's the universe asking, do you really believe? And when you answer yes, not through words, but through unwavering peace, the storm begins to calm. There is profound strength in quiet belief. When you no longer chase after your desire, you declare to life that you already have it. And life, in response, must show you proof. You don't manifest by running after things. You manifest by standing still in faith, by knowing the truth so deeply that the outer world can't help but reflect it back. You'll start to feel it in little ways first. A conversation, a coincidence, a sign, a sudden shift in mood. These are gentle echoes of your assumption beginning to take form. Each time you notice them, don't get overly excited or anxious. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue living as though the full manifestation has already arrived. Gratitude is the steady hand that keeps faith alive. And the more you live this way, the more natural it becomes. Acting as if becomes living as is. You no longer have to remind yourself. It becomes who you are. The state of fulfillment becomes your resting place, your home. You find peace there, not because everything outside is perfect, but because within you know it's already done. You start to see the divine intelligence behind every event, even those that seem to delay or challenge you. You realize that nothing is truly against you. Everything is guiding you into alignment with your desire. Life stops being a battle and becomes a dance. Graceful, effortless, unfolding perfectly in its own rhythm. And as you continue to live from that knowing, you'll notice that what once felt impossible now feels natural. The dreams that once seemed far away begin to feel familiar as though you've lived them before. And that's because, in truth, you have within your imagination, within your consciousness, that inner experience was never fantasy. It was creation in progress. When you embrace this truth, life takes on a deeper meaning. You stop worrying about time because you understand that creation doesn't happen in time. It happens in consciousness. The moment you assume it, it's done. Time is simply the process by which the invisible becomes visible. But to you, the one who believes, it's already complete. And that's the power you've always had, the power to assume, to imagine, to believe, and to rest in that belief. It's not about struggle, it's about surrender. Not surrendering to defeat, but surrendering to the higher reality that already exists within you. So keep walking by faith, not by sight. Keep living from the end, not toward it. Keep feeling the joy of what is already yours, because when you act as if this time is already yours, you align with the timeless truth that everything you seek is already complete within you, waiting for your faith to make it visible. As you continue to dwell in this state, something beautiful begins to unfold. You start to feel an inner peace that cannot be shaken. It's not the fleeting happiness that depends on external circumstances. It's a quiet assurance that everything is unfolding perfectly because it already has. You stop asking, when will it happen? And instead you start saying, it is happening now. This shift from waiting to knowing changes everything. People may not understand this transformation in you. They might wonder why you're so calm when things seem uncertain, why you're smiling when logic says you shouldn't be. But you'll know that it's because you're no longer living according to appearances. You've learned to see with the inner eye, to feel with the heart of faith, to walk by a light that the world cannot dim. Every desire, every vision, every dream that rises within you is not random. It's a message from your higher self, showing you what already exists for you. You wouldn't desire something unless it was already prepared. The moment the desire was born, the fulfillment was created with it. Desire and fulfillment are two sides of the same reality, and faith is the bridge that connects them. So when you feel that longing for something, a better life, deeper love, peace of mind, don't mistake it for lack. See it for what it truly is, the call of your higher self inviting you to remember what's already yours. The only question is, will you accept it now, or will you keep waiting for proof? The moment you accept it, life begins to align itself accordingly. Every act of assumption is an act of creation. Every time you say within, this is mine, you are planting the seed of a new reality. And just as the seed doesn't need to strive to become a tree, your desire doesn't need to be forced. It simply grows in the silence of faith. Your job is to nurture it with conviction, to water it with gratitude, and to protect it from the weeds of doubt. You are not a powerless being tossed around by fate. You are the creator of your world, shaping it moment by moment through what you assume to be true, and the truth you accept within will always express itself without. When you assume abundance, abundance finds you. When you assume love, love surrounds you. When you assume peace, peace becomes your reality. This is why the state of being is everything. You cannot attract what you are not willing to be. If you wish for joy, you must become joy. If you desire freedom, you must feel free now. The state you occupy is the magnet, and the outer world is simply the reflection of that state. The mind might argue, but look at the fact. Yet faith whispers, the facts are temporary, the truth is eternal. What you see now is just the echo of an old belief. Change your assumption, and the echo must change. You are never trapped by circumstance. You are only ever held by belief, and as you continue to act as if this time is already yours, the lines between desire and fulfillment begin to dissolve. You no longer chase after outcomes. You live in the flow of divine timing. You no longer feel lack because your awareness is filled with the joy of having. That joy itself becomes your magnet. You draw in blessings effortlessly because your energy speaks louder than your words. Even in quiet moments, you'll sense the presence of something greater, an invisible harmony working in your favor. You'll see synchronicities, gentle reminders that you are on the right path. The right people, the right moments, the right answers begin to show up, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with them. Life begins to feel like cooperation instead of resistance, like trust instead of struggle. And in that state, miracles are no longer extraordinary. They become natural, because what is a miracle, if not faith made visible? When you know who you are and live from that knowing, miracles follow you. You stop looking for signs because you become the sign. Your very presence radiates the truth that it is already done. There's no longer any rush, no fear of missing out, no anxious striving. You understand that everything you seek is already within you, waiting for your recognition. You understand that time is not your enemy, it's your servant, unfolding your assumption in the perfect sequence. You learn to rest in divine patience, knowing that delay is not denial, it's preparation. So you keep walking with grace, speaking with gratitude, and feeling the end as already accomplished. You become the living embodiment of faith in action. And with each passing day, as your assumption deepens, the invisible becomes visible, not through force, but through the gentle, inevitable unfolding of divine law. As this awareness grows stronger within you, you begin to see life in a completely new way. You no longer separate your imagination from reality. You understand now that they are one and the same. What you hold in consciousness becomes your experience, and what you persist in feeling eventually crystallizes into form. The world outside no longer feels random or uncertain. It becomes a mirror, reflecting back the images you've been entertaining within your own mind. You realize that your imagination is the workshop of creation. Every thought you lovingly dwell upon, every scene you emotionally inhabit, is an act of divine creation. You start to see the power of gentle focus, the way one simple assumption held steadily with feeling can alter the entire direction of your life. It doesn't require force or control, only quiet persistence. You learn to replace impatience with inner stillness because you now understand that everything unfolds according to the vibration of your belief. Even simple things begin to change. The people you meet seem kinder. Situations that once frustrated you now resolve with ease. You find yourself saying less, worrying less, doing less, but being more. Your actions flow naturally from the state you occupy without strain or anxiety. You become guided, inspired, moved by intuition rather than driven by fear. And in that place, life starts to feel lighter. You feel carried by something unseen, something loving, something intelligent. It's as if the whole universe conspires to support you when you choose to live as though your dream is already real. The coincidences increase, the timing becomes perfect, and your days begin to feel orchestrated by grace, even moments that once would have brought doubt now deepen your faith. Because when something appears delayed, you no longer see it as a setback. You see it as alignment in progress. You begin to trust that everything is working out in ways you might not yet understand. The delay becomes part of the perfection, not proof of its absence. You live from a deeper awareness that the unseen is always ahead of the visible. The more you practice this, the more powerful it becomes, acting as if this time is already yours, stops being a technique and becomes your natural state of being. You no longer try to manifest. You simply know you carry yourself differently. Your words have power because they are rooted in certainty. Your presence changes a room because it vibrates with the quiet energy of fulfillment. Others will sense it, even if they can't explain it. They will feel peace around you. They will feel that calm confidence, that loving faith that doesn't need to prove itself. Because when you truly live from the end, you stop trying to convince others. You no longer need validation. You've already received your confirmation from within, and it's in this still, faithful state that the outer manifestation flows easily. What once seemed impossible arrives effortlessly, as though it had been waiting for your belief all along. You realize that the universe was never withholding anything from you. It was simply waiting for you to align with it. You understand at the moment you accepted your desire as already fulfilled, everything in creation began moving to reflect that truth. There's a softness to this way of living. You're no longer in resistance with life. You allow, you trust, you flow. And even when appearances seem unchanged, you rest in the knowing that change is already underway. The seed of assumption is alive within you, and life itself is nurturing it into full expression. Each day becomes an opportunity to practice this awareness. When fear tries to visit, you smile and remember it's already done. When doubt whispers, you return to the feeling of having it now. When others question you, you don't argue. You simply remain still in your truth. You've learned that the only reality that matters is the one you hold within, because it's the blueprint of everything that will soon unfold without. You begin to treat your imagination as sacred space, the holy ground where your future is shaped. You become selective with your thoughts, choosing those that uplift and expand, because you know that every idea you dwell upon is planting a seed in consciousness. You guard your inner world with love, not fear, knowing that creation responds only to the feeling of faith. And as this way of being deepens, you find that your desires evolve. You no longer crave from emptiness. You create from fullness. You no longer seek out of need. You express out of abundance. You live each day knowing that all you could ever want is already contained within your own being, waiting only for your acknowledgement. Your imagination becomes your constant companion. Whenever life presents a challenge, you close your eyes and see the solution already done. You walk through that inner world as the version of yourself who has already overcome. You feel the relief, the joy, the peace, and then you carry that feeling back into waking life. You no longer react to appearances. You respond from faith, and soon life begins to take on the quality of a living prayer. Every moment, every breath, every thought charged with purpose and quiet confidence. You start to realize that acting as if is not pretending. It's remembering who you are, remembering your divine authority, remembering that the unseen is the only true cause of the seen. So, my dear friends, let this be the moment you stop waiting and start being. Stop standing outside the door of your own dream. Walk through it now. You've been given the greatest gift, the power to assume, to feel, to create. You don't need permission from the world. Life has already said yes. The moment you accept your desire as already fulfilled, heaven itself moves to confirm your faith. Act as if this time is already yours, because it is. Live as though the miracle has already happened, because it has. Everything you have ever longed for is already here, quietly waiting for your recognition. All that's left is for you to step into it, to speak from it, to feel from it, to live from it. You are not a seeker. You are a creator. You are not hoping for a blessing. You are the blessing. And the moment you truly know that, everything you've ever dreamed of will rush to meet you. Not as something new, but as something that has always been yours. So walk in faith, rest in love, and remember, creation is finished. It is done. It has always been done.